Not in the prison though?
No. I'm down this thing.
Oh, okay.
No, you've still got to get married. You get a mortgage again. There's no light at the end of the tunnel anyway.
And if you did win a real big one, you could just win $150 one. Nothing else I can. We've seen it to the road. He's going around and saying, for a winner big one, you'll know because I'll walk in and you'll see me with this big bottle of wine. Yeah, about at least $150.
This is on my Facebook. Rotorua, and his father is from
Whakatea nora i Apiranga Tira. Whakarongorongo te taringa ki ngā wai e putura i te roto nui a kahumata mamoe. Ko hine moa pēr kei te kaupoi tō ki a tūtāne kai ko te arawa māngai nui te nā putai. E tika ana ngā tohu ngā mātou ngā tupuna nā i haere ana koe ni te mato o te whenua ka uru koe wari ki te mihi atu ki te hunga kāinga, ki te mana whenua, te tangata whenua. Ana i te taha o tēnei roto rongo nui, ka tika me mihi atu ki a te awa. Aha koa, e hara ko te kaupapa te rā nei ko te awa. Ana ka tika me mihi atu ko nā rātau te mana whenua, ko rātau te tangata whenua ka tika me mihi atu ki rātau. Hoi anō, ka tika me mihi atu ki rātau i runga i ngā whakapapa, i ngā hīkoitanga, i ngā moenga ātipuna, i tūhono ai tātou ki kāta. Ana ka moe arongo mai wahine a tamataku tai, ko pito ki waho, ko rapu i te rangi, ko hine rawi. Ka moe arongo mai wahine i a kahununi, ko puta mai, ko kahukura nui, ko rongo mai papa, ko tamatea kota, ko mahaki nui, ko tau heikuri. Rongo mai papa ka moe a tū haurangi, ka puta mai, ko uanuku kōpako, he hononga marae kora tērau i wainoni i a tiarawa, rāo ko tāki tuku ka tika mihi atu. A me hoki anō rā ki ngā tamariki o rongo mai mahine rāo ko kahununi. Ki te toa rā ko kahukura nui, ko moe a kahukura nui, i a rua tapu wahine, ta māhine na ruapani. I te Wairoa ai a ruapani koe a te ariki nui o tūranga nui ākiwa. Nā rāwa ko puta mai ko rākai hikuroa, nā rākai hikuroa ko tūpurupuru. Na tūpurupuru ko te rangi tuehu, na te rangi tuehu ko tuakā, na tuakā ko mahinārangi. Te wahine rā i popo ki te hinu rauka wakari o ki waikapu ki a tūrongo, he piko, he taniwha, he ki iho ki te whanetapu o potatau te wherawhero ki a tū heiti e noho nei nui te ahurewa tapu no na mātu o na tupana. Me hoki anō rā ki te toa rā ki a kahukura nui, ka mui a tū taihanga ki puta mai ko rākai pāka ko hine manuhiri ko nā tukurima hine manuhiri o te Wairoa hō pūpū hō ningi matangirau, Wairoa ka pokorai. Ana koe rā e whakahuange i ngā kōrero kia hono atu tātou ki ngā hīkoitanga ki ngā moenga ātupuna e tūhono ai tātou kia tātou. Hoi anō he hui ngā tangata he hoki ngā mahara. Nā reira nā mate huho te wānei ki rungi o tātou nei pakihiwi whakawhāriki ngia kia tika te wahenga atu ki a rātou. Ko rātou e haere whakatutukirai ki rungi te ara Wairua. I te whārone roa tōhe ki ngā wāhi tapu i koroa ki wai murumuru ki maringi roa. Whakarere atu rātou ki te rerenga Wairu ki te reinga. Kaure atu i te mōna ki mana wa tāwhi. Aupiki i te maunga e tūmai rā ki o hau ti tiro whakamuri. Haere tonu rātou ki tawhiti nui, ki tawhiti ro, ki tawhiti pāmama. Rātou e haere pēra i te ranga i māmau ka tawhiti tūnuku taupua. E kore amuri rātou e hokia. Nā reira ko rātou ki a rātou, ko tātou. ngā maramaro o rātou mā ki a tātou tēnā no tātou katoa. Nā tai e whāharuru mai nei i te kaupapa o te rā, hea te kaupapa o te rā, ko te anga whakamua, o ngā iwi o ngā hapu o te Wairoa. Nā rea e aku nui, aku rahi, aku whakatawarahi ki te rangi, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Koutou e hara mai nei ki te whakaranga tira tō tātou nei hui te rā nei, tēnei ka tuho ki a kutau. Koutou e whakai ki te whakawāti, ki te hara mai ki tēnei uinga, kia rongo, kia rea ai koutou nei taringa, kia rongo koutou anei te huarahi tika, he whakae ngā take kereme, oi anō ka te mea nui, ke uru mai koutou i nui te kōrero, hea hana hua nui, hea hana kaupapa nui, kai nui te araro o ngā iwi, o ngā hapu o te Wairoa, ana ko koutou tērā. Ka tike e hara mai ana koutou i te rāna ki te whakatakoto o koutou nei kōrero, ki te rongo, kia mōhi o mai koutou. Nā te mea ko te anga whakamua, mā tātou tērā. Aha ko mehe noho ana koe ki roto i te roa pōtau te Wairoa, aha ko mehe noho ana koe ki roto i tēnei takiwā, i te ngona nui a i a Rotorua. Aha ko me noho koe, i te me noho ana koe ki rāwahi, i te me heke mai koe i ngā tipona o te kāinga, he ki kai a kutau. Nā reira, kai tēnei mō kai a kutau hi te whakatorongi ngā kōrero. He aku rangatira, ngā kūtau, tēnā kūtau, hui, huri rauri tēnei whare o tātou, tēnā no tātou katoa. Pine te kura, te kura, whanake te kura, raroia Wairoa, ko te kura nui, ko te kura roa, ko te kura o ta whitina tu hai po. Te ono tātai ono ko tātou ki a tātou, huri rāna tēnā no tātou katoa.
A kia ti kia ora tātou, tēnā tātou. Tōku ingoa ko tāmati ausa. Tēnei rā te tautoko ai ki ngā mihi kua mihia. E oi, me tīmata pēi tā tātou hui, ne? Kia ora, my name's Tāmati Ausa, and I'm the chairperson of the Tira Whakaemi o te Wairoa. Here are some of our representatives from the Tira Whakaemi o te Wairoa, as well as some of our support staff here today, to support the messages of John, no mai haere mai, tātou katoa i tēnei rau. We're going to get on with our hui, but before we do that, a couple of ground rules. First and foremost, it is oh, we all need them nowadays, eh? So I communicate with my teenage kids across the table through these things. But if we've got them, we'll put them on silent, please. Oh, we have our reading today. Secondly, if we hear the alarm go off, I presume we're going that way and further that way. We'll go civilly, orderly. Then we'll follow the instructions of any of the staff that come out together, say, hopefully. Wharepaku outside to the left of the end. Today's hui is divided into 3 sections. The first part of our hui is going to require your ears and your eyes. And that first part, we're going to have a presentation that we're going to use. After that, followed by that, we're going to use ears, eyes and mouths. We're going to have questions and answers. And then following that, we're going to have a baku timo, a little kai outside, a cup of tea, some muffins, coffee, those nice things in life. And whakaoti atu I tā tātou koutou. Nō reira, without further ado, we'll get on with the presentation.
Tēnā koutou katoa. Nau mai, haere mai. Thank you for joining us today for our Ratification Information Hui. We're Te Tira Whakaemi o Te Wairoa, the organisation that has represented you, the whānau, hapu and iwi, who whakapapa to the ancestral waka of Tākitimu and Kurahaupo in our negotiations with the Crown to comprehensively settle all historical Treaty of Waitangi claims in this area. This hui is an opportunity to learn more about the settlement Te Tira has negotiated for you. The presentation is approximately 20 minutes long. Following the presentation, you will have the chance to ask questions and discuss the settlement. We have allocated a maximum of 30 minutes for questions and answers. Today, you can also vote on the 3 resolutions, which are outlined on page 6 of the Ratification Information Booklet. If you are not a registered member of Te Tira, you can register and vote today. You'll be able to cast your vote in the provided ballot box at any time throughout the hui. Voting yes will support our settlement and allow us to move forward. We are holding 9 hui across Aotearoa, in Wairoa, Ahuriri, Te Whanganui a Tara, Rotorua, Kirikiriroa, Tāmaki Makaurau, Papaioea, Waihopai and Otautahi. The information presented at each hui is exactly the same and will cover our journey to settlement, the stages involved in negotiating with the Crown and the process to this point. Voting. As beneficiaries, you have the right to decide. In this section, we'll explain how and when you and your whānau can vote. The deed of settlement. As part of the voting, we'll ask you to vote yes to accept the deed of settlement. In this section, we'll look at what's included and what this means for us, ngā iwi me ngā hapu o te rohe o te Wairoa. The settlement package. We'll explain what's included in the settlement, such as financial compensation, cultural acknowledgements and whenua, as well as the new relationships that will be established with government and council organisations. If our settlement gets the green light, it will become law. So we'll need a new trust to administer and manage our assets. We'll explain more about tātou o te Wairoa and the voting process involved in electing its trustees and agreeing that tātou o te Wairoa Trust be the post-settlement governance entity that will receive and manage redress on behalf of the iwi and hapu of te Wairoa. We'll finish with a question and answer session where you'll have the opportunity to ask any questions you have. We've reached a significant stage in our negotiations with the Crown. Now it's your turn to have a say. We need your vote for the settlement to progress. Te Tira encourages you to vote yes on the following 3 resolutions. I, as a member of the iwi and hapu of Te Rohe o Te Wairoa, accept the deed of settlement for one comprehensive settlement of all historical Treaty of Waitangi claims between the Crown and iwi and hapu of Te Rohe o Te Wairoa. I agree that the tātou o Te Wairoa Trust be the post-settlement governance entity that will receive and manage redress on behalf of the iwi and hapu of Te Rohe o Te Wairoa. I agree that the initial trustees of the tātou o Te Wairoa Trust sign the deed of settlement on behalf of the iwi and hapu of Te Rohe o Te Wairoa.
We have some beautiful young people and not so young people that have trained as lawyers, accountants, bank managers, etc., etc. People like me, we need to gracefully back out. We've done our job in negotiation. And in this group of people that we have within our rohi of Mai Wahine, there are very skilled people that can really help their generations as well in their futures to come. Our rangatahi are here today. They're not the future tomorrow. They are here today. And it would be great to see them come on board and offer the skills, whether in the reo, whether in the culture, whether in the tikanga. We are here to support them, not for them to support us.
The journey to settlement. Treaty of Waitangi claims in our district have a long and significant history dating back to the early 1980s. In 2002, iwi and hapu met and decided that we should work together to progress our claims across the district under the auspices of the Wairoa Working Group. This was the genesis of Te Tira Whakaemi o Te Wairoa. In 2009, Te Tira Whakaemi o Te Wairoa had its mandate approved, which allowed us to negotiate with the Crown on your behalf. It's taken a lot of hard work, but Te Tira Whakaemi believes we've reached the best deal possible for our iwi and hapu. In May this year, around 50 members of Te Tira travelled to Parliament to initial our deed of settlement. Now, we're in the ratification stage, where we need as many of our people to cast a vote and have a say. If approved and passed into law by Parliament, our new post-settlement governance entity will manage the following stage. This is where we'll receive recognition and have the agreed assets returned to us by the Crown. Voting on the 3 resolutions began on the 15th of July. You need to cast your vote by 5 p.m. Friday, the 26th of August, for it to count. The total number of votes we receive matters, so please vote as soon as possible and help us to spread the message to your whānau to get involved. So how do you vote? By now, you should have received a ratification pack that includes an information booklet and a voting paper. With this voting paper, you can vote in one of 3 ways. Online, by heading to our website, tetirawhakaemi.iwi.nz, and following the instructions. You'll need the PIN number and password located on your voting paper. This is the best method, as there'll be no chance your vote will be lost in the mail. We recommend this method to registered members living overseas also. By voting online, you'll also receive an instant notification when your vote has been received. You can also vote by post. You'll need to fill out the original voting paper you've been supplied, as photocopies won't be accepted. Clearly tick yes or no next to each of the 3 resolutions. Put this in the free post envelope you receive in your pack and post the letter back. Votes posted on the closing date will only be counted if they are received within 3 days, so vote early to avoid missing the deadline. Or, if you have a completed voting paper with you today, you can put this in the ballot box provided. Voting is open to all Te Tira Whakaemi o Te Wairoa registered members, including those overseas who are aged 18 and over. For those not registered, we have special voting packs available today that include a registration form to complete at the same time as your voting paper. The voting helpline is also available to call if you need to request a special voting pack, need a replacement voting form, or have any questions relating to the voting process. The entire voting process, including the helpline, is managed by an independent company called Electionz. They are based in Christchurch and have no association to any of our iwi or hapu. This ensures fairness and confidentiality. An independent returning officer has been appointed by Electionz to verify all votes and check each voting paper against the register. For that reason, it's important that you only vote once. Let's now look at the deed of settlement that we've negotiated, which we encourage you to vote yes to. The deed of settlement will fully and finally settle all historical Treaty of Waitangi claims of the iwi and hapu of Te Rohe o Te Wairoa. The benefits of the settlement will be available to all members who whakapapa to the ancestral waka of Tāki Timu and Kurahaupo, which is approximately 34,000 of us. If you would like more detailed information about who the settlement is for and the historical claims covered, you can find this on pages 17, 18 and 19 of your information booklet. Let's now look at the deed of settlement. This includes a Crown apology, an agreed historical account, Crown acknowledgements of treaty breaches, a cultural redress offer, and financial and commercial redress. The Crown apology is intended to be a practical and constructive way of addressing the hurt previously inflicted on the iwi and hapu of Te Rohe o Te Wairoa by the Crown. The apology shows the Crown's desire to move forward and build a new relationship based on the Treaty of Waitangi that will work for our current and future generations. The historical account plays an important part in the Crown's apology, as it's an agreed statement that records our history with the Crown. It includes mentions of war, Lake Waikaremoana and Te Urewera National Park, land purchases, and the resulting consequences, including socio-economic deprivation. It's a statement that took a lot of negotiation, time, evidence, and findings from the Waitangi Tribunal to create. It's important background information that shows why the deed of settlement is necessary. In creating the historical account, the Crown has acknowledged and taken responsibility for a number of historical breaches in relation to the Treaty of Waitangi. This is of course something that we and our kaumātua have fought for a long time and is significant. These acknowledgements are what led us to the redress and compensation that we're about to explain. The cultural redress recognises the traditional, historical and spiritual associations our people have with whenua and sites owned by the Crown in our rohe. The deed grants permission to work alongside a range of organisations to protect, enhance and conserve each of these valued sites. For this to happen, the following working relationships will be established. A relationship between the Wairoa District Council, the Hawke's Bay Regional Council and our newly formed post-settlement governance entity. This will include letters of introduction to both councils. And Te Rohe o Te Wairoa Reserves Board, Mātangi Rau, will work with the Wairoa District Council to administer and manage a mix of their reserves. There will also be a range of relationships with the Ministry of Environment, Department of Conservation, Department of Internal Affairs, and relevant departments in relation to Crown Minerals and Paonga Tūturu protocols. We'll also work with the Hawke's Bay Regional Planning Committee, Te Papa Tongarewa, and the Urewera Board. On top of this, we'll also be able to create a social and economic revitalisation strategy framework for our iwi, led by the Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment, and including the Ministries of Education, Health, Social Development, Primary Industries, Te Puni Kōkiri and others. All of our new relationships will help us to look after places that we care about and move forward to a better future. The deed includes detail about specific sites in Te Rohe o Te Wairoa that the Crown has acknowledged we have connections to. Here is a summary of what is included. 5 sites to be returned to us and then gifted back. Kumi Pakarai Conservation Area, Mahia Peninsula Scenic Reserve, Morere Springs Scenic Reserve, Otoki Government Purpose Wildlife Management Reserve, Te Reinga Scenic Reserve Property A. For a complete list of what the sites are and what type of redress applies to each, refer to page 16 of your information booklet. The Crown has also agreed to financial compensation. The total value is $100 million. This is made up of $88,964,250 in cash. The remaining financial package is made up of a 50% share in the Patunamu Forest valued at $2,465,750, a 50% share in Wharerata Forest valued at $3,570,000, and an on-account payment of $5 million. The settlement will also include accumulated rentals from the shares in the forests and interest earned on the entire financial redress. Another form of redress is commercial. There are 24 deferred selection properties. The deed provides our post-settlement governance entity with a right to purchase these properties for a number of months following the settlement date. There are a further 147 properties which, when they are offered for sale, our post-settlement governance entity will have an advantage to purchase. This is called a right of first refusal. The properties are currently held by the Department of Conservation, Housing New Zealand Corporation, Land Information New Zealand and the Office of Treaty Settlements Land Bank.
We are all aware there will never be the settlement that is required to settle things properly as far as the tiriti was concerned. That'll never occur, but what we can get through settlement, we look forward to that, to help uplift our people, me ngā whakahaere wainganui a rātou, whakapakari a rātou marae kāinga, a rātou whenua, ngā mea ka riro mai, ngā mea kaore riro, ka pauriti ngā kau mo te rā. Aku whakaro mo rātou, kia u, kia mau, kia tūtuki rawa, waiho, ngā raru wainganui a koutou i te kāinga. Engari, kia tūtuki rawa tēnei mahi, whakawātea koutou i ngā whakahaere kei mui a koutou. Kia kore, ka me te karauna, ka wikitōlea ko te karauna.
To settle our claims with the Crown, we also need you to vote yes. I agree that the Tātou o te Wairoa Trust be the post-settlement governance entity that will receive and manage redress on behalf of the iwi and hapu of te rohe o te Wairoa. And yes, I agree that the initial trustees of the Tātou o te Wairoa Trust sign the deed of settlement on behalf of the iwi and hapu of te rohe o te Wairoa. The trust deed is the legal document that will govern the post-settlement governance entity, or PSGE, our trust, and determine how it will operate to manage the settlement redress. Tātou o te Wairoa is the PSGE that we've agreed on after much consideration. The Crown has also given its approval for this entity. Once the settlement goes ahead, Tātou o te Wairoa will receive and administer the settlement redress and any future assets. In the initial 2-year period, the Trust will sign the deed of settlement, follow the review process and consult with representatives of our iwi and hapu in regards to purchasing new assets, follow the work plan agreement when deciding asset ownership, form working relationships for cultural redress sites, maintain records for reporting, and organise and manage initial trustee elections. If you would like more detailed information about the trust deed, you can find this on pages 21 and 22 of your information booklet. Deciding who will be our initial trustees for Tātou o te Wairoa will involve 3 stages. Nominations will take place in September 2016, followed shortly after with voting over 2 weeks. Our chosen initial trustees will be appointed by mid-October, in time to sign the deed of settlement. We, te Tira Whakaemi o te Wairoa, will hold the initial trustee elections. Registered members of iwi and hapu of te rohe o te Wairoa, aged 18 and over, will be able to nominate and vote for the 14 trustees. As a voter, you'll belong to a kāhui, also known as a cluster. 7 hui will be held and you will be able to attend the hui that is for your kāhui. At your hui, you'll be able to elect 2 initial trustees. One trustee is to be ahi kā, and the other trustee non-ahi kā. While we won't be conducting a full postal ballot for these initial trustees, we're going to set up online voting, as well as encouraging as many of us as possible to return to your kāhui meeting. To understand which kāhui you belong to, refer to page 26 of your information booklet. More information about the initial elections will be sent out once the voting for the deed of settlement and trust is complete.
From a personal perspective, I have this belief that the treaty settlement money that is due to us, I have this view that, it doesn't belong to me, but it belongs to those people who are coming behind me. And what I'm referring to is my children, my mokopuna, my cousin's children, his mokopuna, and everybody else who has a connection to this district.
So let's remind ourselves what needs to be voted on. We need you to make a decision on our future by voting on the settlement that we have negotiated. We encourage you as a member of the iwi and hapu of Te Rohe o Te Wairoa to vote yes to the following 3 resolutions. To accept the deed of settlement for one comprehensive settlement of all historical Treaty of Waitangi claims between the Crown and iwi and hapu of Te Rohe o Te Wairoa. To agree that the Tātou o Te Wairoa Trust be the post-settlement governance entity that will receive and manage redress on behalf of the iwi and hapu of Te Rohe o Te Wairoa. To agree that the initial trustees of the Tātou o Te Wairoa Trust sign the deed of settlement on behalf of the iwi and hapu of Te Rohe o Te Wairoa. Remember, voting for these 3 resolutions closes 5 p.m, 26th of August, 2016. Once voting closes, we'll be advised if we've received sufficient support. To do this, the Crown takes into account factors such as the number of registered adult members, the percentage of registered members that voted, and the percentage of voters that voted yes. If there's not sufficient support, our settlement will not progress. With this in mind, it's important to realise that now is our time to shape our future for the better. If you have not registered, it's not too late. Please register and vote yes to support our settlement.
Tautoko hia, manakitia tēnei take a tātou. Mō ngā tamariki mokopuna kai te kāre anō kia whānau mai. Ko rātou ngā mea tēno ngā kaunui te ana au kia rātou. The yet unborn. And the potential and the opportunities that it represents for future generations. Yeah.
We'll now have questions and answers. Before we do, we have the following ground rules. Please respect others and remain quiet so that their question can be heard clearly. Please identify yourself when you speak, as we have to record your name in our meeting minutes. Please keep questions related to the deed of settlement and trust deed for our post-settlement governance entity, PSGE. Nō reira, from all of us at Te Tira Whakaemi o Te Wairoa, kia kaha ki te rehita me te pōti. Tēnā tātou katoa. Tātou, Te Wairoa. Let's build a better future for our whānau. Voting is now open on our settlement. Te Tira Whakaemi o Te Wairoa is about to hold a series of ratification hui across Aotearoa seeking your vote and your support. To approve the deed of settlement and to agree to the roles and responsibilities of our post-settlement governance entity, Tātou o Te Wairoa. We need your vote for our settlement to continue. If you're over 18 and whakapapa to Te Wairoa, then register now to have your say. Go to our website or Facebook page for more information on how to vote. Tātou, Te Wairoa.
No, I've got one.
Wesleyan Church, Te Kuingo ko Tūtia Te Ariki, Te Tūpuna ko Haretuhara Tuna, Te Tūpuna Waki, more this day and age, the Chase whānau, Manuel, Ariki family. Now with the properties that you're getting back, and I noticed some of them are housing properties, are you going to run that underneath your umbrella, or are you looking at going to former owners of the land the house was on and asking them, like some settlements have done, if they would like to purchase that house, or maybe they've already got trust on that block and, you know, I think you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. And the short answer to that is we have no idea whatsoever. Because that's a question to be asked post-settlement. A number of issues. So what does it look like then, moving forward? Our job, in Tira, we were mandated to get a treaty settlement. That's what we've brought. But those are all valid issues that our PSGE is going to have to look at. Thank you.
One of the reasons I asked that question is that some of us have been involved in other iwi areas where they've had settlements and the land is, through the right of first refusal, has gone on open market. But I'm looking at the amount of money that you're going to get back, and it's possible that we vote later on down the track for our iwi to go into the housing business or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So, but I wondered, because I'm quite glad that you haven't actually put in there anything in your settlement where it's coming back to you, but it's not going to be spread out unless people decide, you know, that whānau that own the land in the first place might never get it back into their family, but it'll be spread around everybody. Whereas other settlements have gone ahead and they've actually had to go to down that road where they've got to spend a lot of their settlement money trying to find former owners, and it's a hard road to go to.
And the lesson in all of that is that it is incumbent on us to learn from others and what they have done. It's incumbent on the PSGE to be considerate of all of the issues, but also learn to look around the motu, see what other iwi have done and where they've been successful. Why reinvent the wheel if there's a bad wheel operating somewhere out there? But those are all post-settlement issues. And to expand on that, you will see in the presentation what we have landed on as an initial PSGE for 2 years. Yeah? And then after that, a permanent one. Because of questions like that we couldn't answer, but we know need to be answered before everything comes back. Me? So they've been given a specific task to do over the next 2 years. They're not getting miri ona tā. They're getting $5 million on account payment to set things up, get things going, blah, blah, blah. That's not a lot. Te rahinga atu in the bank until we can get the plan together, including answering questions like that. Not all of them, because we shouldn't be in a rush. It's taken over 170 odd years to get to this point, so we're still here. We're not going anywhere. Any other questions? Kia ora. Sorry, I'll come to you next.
Yep. Tēnā koutou whānau.
Kia ora.
I'm here, my name is Judy White, and I'm here with my sister and my cousin, and we whakapapa back to Ngāti Mākoro, the Johnson whānau, if you know them.
We know them well.
Yes, not Irish. But anyway, what I wanted to just ask was, how is it going so far? I know it's early days, but are you getting a really positive response? And it looks like we're going to have a good positive result.
That's saying you guys. We are.
So how many places have you been so far?
So we started last weekend back in Wairoa, who I started at home. And then we went down to Napier, and then we were in Wellington. Today we're here, tomorrow we're up in Hamilton. Sunday we're in Auckland. We've had good turnout. A lot of people on, see that camera? It's not hooked into Te Kare there, it's hooked into our Facebook page. Hey, so all your mokopuna and whatnot online looking at that. We're getting lots of feedback through there. It's a changing world we're living in there, well, man. We tried for many years doing things, how we know? Back home.
Well, that's fantastic.
But doing this.
Must be in the name, eh? Tāmati, because we've got one at Tira as well.
Kia ora, Paul Smith, rongo mai Wairoa, Rua Pani, a couple of matatori. My question is, this is the final deed of settlement that we're voting on. My question to you and to the rest of the committee, are you confident that we've turned every stone over for everything that we're looking to claim, and before we sign it off? You know, I hate to think that we've only sort of gone halfway along the stones that are turned, and then something pops up later which could come back and bite us, you know, and then we're going to have all this trouble back again. So that's only my question to the committee.
I'm going to invite John to answer that question. John played a pivotal role for us. John was our initial chairperson of Te Tira Whakaemi o Te Wairoa. He was really good at it. So we decided to punish him even more. We made him our lead negotiator. So he was in charge of turning over those stones, along with some of our reps who are here today.
Yes, no, good question. I think a couple of things. One is we took, as you would have seen from the timeline, we took quite a long time to decide what was important for us before we even got into negotiations. In fact, we started meeting in 2002. We didn't sign our terms of negotiations until 2009, and even then we took, I think, 3 years before we got into the actual negotiations. And part of what we spent a lot of time there was being clear on what it was that people were looking for out of settlement, so that we knew before the negotiators started what we had to look at. And we went through a process over 2.5 years of literally going through every stone and looking at what it is our claims related to, and actually working through each of those things with the Crown and pushing as far as we could. And we got to a stage where we felt, based on all the information, on our 2.5 years of experience in negotiating with them, and on all the information that we had available. And in fact, my understanding is the Minister of Finance was heard to say at the final meeting, when he finally agreed on $100 million, okay, you can give them $100 million, but not a cent more. So we pushed and pushed and pushed, as was our job. And when we felt we couldn't push anymore, we went back home to our mandated reps and said, well, this is what we've managed to get, what do you think? As Tāmati said, our job in Te Tira Whakaemi, what we were given the mandate to do was to go out to negotiate the best settlement possible so that we could arrive at this day and other days and bring it in front of you to say, we pushed as far as we could, what do you think, Father? Do you think, are you comfortable with this? I have to say early on that I was asked in terms of financial quantum by Te Tira, when they appointed me as the lead negotiator, what I thought would be a realistic amount for us to achieve. And at that stage, 4 years ago, I said if we got anywhere between $40 to $60 million, we would be doing well based on all the previous settlements. So the fact that we kicked on through to $100 million to make it, I think, the 5th largest settlement ever, was no small mean feat. But the thing I'll quickly add to that, whānau, is that this was never about money. The money is important, I'm not going to say it isn't important, of course it is. But the money is a means to an end, not the end. The end for us is the reconstitution of our ability to look after ourselves. our ability to take our ideas and have some resources and capital and whatever else to turn them into reality. And so I suppose what I want to say to you is that this is the beginning of our journey, not the end. This is only the first time we come out and talk to you. This is about coming out and talking to you and saying, we're on a trip on a train, and we've only just arrived at the first station. And that first station is to set our claims. The next stations will be the hallmarks and milestones of our own development as we go into the next phase, which is building something. If there's one thing that people said 30 odd years ago when these claims were first being developed, they wanted us to make sure we took account of our history and held the Crown to account, because it didn't live up to its promises, and that's part of what our job was, to hold them to account. But to get us to the other side, so that we would be in a better position to look after ourselves, our tamariki and our mokopuna. But I think it's important to say to you that it was never about the money. The money was merely a means to end. The end is our ability to be able to provide and look after ourselves and build on our own terms. And I look forward to the next stations in our development. And in each of those, and the first of those will be, we've committed in the next 2 years to develop a plan with you. This plan will answer those questions. What things are we going to be getting involved in tribal development? Are we going to be getting involved in housing? Is there other stuff? What are our social objectives? What are the objectives for those parts of our, because other treaty settlements have shown us that if you invest your money in a certain way, you can make it bigger. So what are our objectives there? We have to go through and engage with you over the next 2 years to decide on what that plan is and to decide on what the permanent structures look like after that post-settlement. And then, every 2 or 3 years after that, we'll be coming back to you again so that we can have elections and so that we can check in with you to say, well, we've delivered on that plan, now what's our next plan? What do you want in the next plan? So I want you all to, this is only the beginning. The questions we're asking you today are about the settlement. The questions we will ask you tomorrow and in the next 2 years are what's important in terms of the development, what's important for our whānau, what's important for our iwi and hapu, and what's important for our people. Kia ora tātou.
That's how much work we've done. Just a wee bit further context, that we John's right, and we set our negotiators in there with a clear objective to get the best deal we can for us. Because if anyone's looking for justice and fairness in this process, you're looking at the wrong process. It's not just, it's not fair. Kāre tau te whakaoki mai I ngā whenua, iriru, over 63,000 hectares. Kāre tau te whakarauora ake o tātou tikuna I kōhurutia Tira aho. No treaty settlement has ever been settled over 1.8 cents in the adjusted dollar value. You look at the value of the land then now. Taira wāke kia taihuri me rota. That's what they're dealing with. So we're really happy where we landed. Much hard work. Pātai anō? Kia ora.
Ko moana I te hau I o ki Muriku, engari whaia Martin Chapman, Ingoa, North Fraser County. I suppose with the level of engagement, which has already been asked around in the various mediums which that's happening, if you think of 34,000 registered members, then what is going to tip it through? Is it 50% of that registered members, which is 17,000 votes? So trying to capture that audience and engage them. If this meeting here is representative of just the actual who want the karahikitia, then I suppose I'm looking for some assurance. Yeah, I'm looking for some assurance that the investment of time that Whakaemi, Te Tira Whakaemi and others have gone along this journey from 2002 to date, and seeing that here we are at a crucial part of another chapter of this journey, then seeing it realised. What is that?
Okay, so a couple of things to answer you there. 34,000, the number, is the number of beneficiaries at a minimum that we say we've got from all of Wairoa. We estimate that based on census data and other data sets and whatnot. We think there's 34, we think there's probably more. I'm from the Mete whānau, we've got a few. Crown agreed with us, they've got a formula they go. We've got agreement with the on the number of 24,000 beneficiaries. That's what they said they're settling this on, according to their calculation, or whatever that's called. We have set an aspirational goal of registering 7,000 people out of that. That's our realistic goal, because we're not going to register 34,000. Maybe in 20 years' time something will be there, because this is the reality of where we're at with these. Where we're tracking at the moment is we're over 2,000 registered, 500 voted already online. If you want to know the number, there is no magic number. If you want to give if you want some assurance, we can't give you that. What we can ask is the people to register. The Crown will look at how many we've got registered in total, the closing date, how many of those who have registered have participated, voted, and then the number of votes. Besides that, they'll look at all of our attendance sheets, how many come along. We've had good numbers so far, real good numbers. A few of us have been in a number of treaty settlements, and we think we're tracking really well with the numbers, the feedback, the registry. What it really comes down to, at the end of the day, is political will. Yeah? We've gone out in good faith after initially the settlement, and we've continued through this Crown imposed process. This is not how we do things naturally as Māori, sign in, register, but we're really happy. We've done our bits. We're registering, we're voting, we're da-da-da-da-da-da. At the end, the Crown will make an assessment, and it'll be a risk management assessment decision. That's what it'll come to. What I mean by that, they'll say, well, taking all those things into consideration, can I sign this? What's the risk in signing this off? And if they're comfortable, they're at a comfortable level, they'll do it. That's the answer. And that's the truth of how the process works. So it's incumbent on us over this next little period to do our bits, which we're doing. And that's a key message I ask all of you. We need foot soldiers, we need warriors. Paku paku mai, kike mai, kuia mai, karawa mai. You need to get in touch with the whānau and get them registered and voting. We say yes, because that's the job we were sent. If we came here and said, oh, we've got a deal, but we want you, we say no, I'll be worried. But we say yes, the rest is up to you. We've given the info, yeah? And a lot of our regions are coming from Tāwāhi, those mossies. Our mossie whanaunga. It's all good. They're just as entitled as anyone here. Hey, that's where it's at. Other questions?
I just got one more.
Quick questions.
I was just a bit hoo-ha because I thought I was going to be on the Tira tonight, but anyway.
Oh, better. You're on the Tira Whakaemi. You've got it there. It's only our whānau watching. It's a closed channel.
Just wanted to wait for the years up. Just a quick question. There's an ad in the paper, which I'm sure you've all heard about, read, and it's the people that already have claims in, and I think they think that once you sign that if their claims are already in, they're still going to be heard, aren't they?
That's right. This is a comprehensive claim. Yeah. So every claim that has been lodged
Because they were putting in don't sign the thing, but I wanted to ask that question.
Restate, tell me where we restate. Don't sign. They got it here.
So I just wanted to make sure, because that's how I read it, even though their claims are in, the Crown can't just throw them out after we've said we agree with question number 1.
Well, then hang on a minute. So we need to be clear. Tira Whakaemi, you answer us. Claims, full and final, comprehensive. What's in, what's out?
Yes, before we were able to negotiate, we had to go out and hold a number of hui around the country to seek a deed of mandate to seek agreement. So part of why we did that was because the Crown otherwise would have said, well, who's to say you represent the iwi and hapu and Wairoa? So we actually had to go through an exercise similar to this. We had to go out, we had to publicly advertise, and we had to ask people, do you agree that we can represent all of the iwi and hapu and Wairoa and all of the treaty claims? And the response back for that was yes. So all of our negotiations have been on that basis. We have had engagements with claimants who feel that they want to negotiate the claims themselves. Part of what we've challenged back on that is we had to go out and consult with people to actively get their mandate. There are a number of claims that have been made on behalf of iwi and hapu in our district where there has been no consultation, there's been no discussion with anybody else. People have put in claims and claimed to represent this hapu and that hapu. In order to make sure we didn't fall into that, we went out to people and said, we want to openly, we represent all of these different groups. We want your agreement that we are the proper people to negotiate all the iwi and hapu claims into Wairoa. And so that's the process we went through. So we have proceeded on that basis, and today is the beginning of our chance to report back some 5 or 6 years later on what that is.
Another question.
So after hearing that, I'm wondering that maybe then there's the Crown could just whip the whole deal off the table, because if Te Tira Whakaemi and other claimants who have things on the boil, then there is some contesting things going on.
Yeah, I feel an answer coming from behind me.
We signed terms of negotiations with the government in 2009. As part of that process, they accepted that we were the legitimate group to be negotiating all iwi and hapu claims into Wairoa. We have now been through a process of almost 6 years of negotiations. We're through our mandated reps and our negotiators. Every month there's a report back to our people on the progress of those negotiations, and every month there are communications going back, and this is the culmination of it. There are no guarantees in life, but to be honest, Vinona, if the Crown now decided that it didn't want to negotiate with us, that would be an absolute 100% turnaround of where we've come from. They've initialed the terms of negotiations with us, they've initialed the deed of settlement with us, they've accepted and given us our final Crown offer for all of our things. So while within the spectrum of possibilities there might be one, to be honest, that would be a complete and utter about-face on where they are now. And I've never seen that yet in treaty negotiations. I've seen treaty negotiations stall, but usually that's because the parties can't agree. We've reached an agreement with the Crown. They've taken that, in fact that agreement has gone past Cabinet and the government, and they've accepted it.
Sure. I think the part of that is full and final. Well, it is for now. But the Crown tends to, breach the treaty from time to time. Hey, it doesn't matter if it's a red crown or a blue crown or a green crown or whatever. They have a habit of doing this. Yeah. The last time we seen that was the foreshore and seabed, and time again since. So it's full and final for now. I'll be open and honest about that. Under the treaty, we maintain our rights. So this is about settling the past, but giving up all of that our tipuna fought for. Right, this is big clear. Very big.
Kia ora tāmati, kia koe Hiki John, Te Tira Whakaemi, ngata ho te haukai ka pai. Well, John went ahead and kind of answered answer my question inside there. So, tough way. And it was just in regards to what the offer is from the Crown in regards to the settlement. And my question was in and around that about will that change, will that diminish if things don't pan out in regards to registering and the
ratification?
No, so the Crown, the culmination of our negotiations late in December was the full and final Crown offer. So when you finish the end of the negotiations, you receive that final offer. It's the culmination of all the things you've agreed over the course of negotiations. And they have to get that agreed to by Cabinet, so it has to be signed by the ministers.
What if it doesn't get ratified?
By us.
What if our voters say no?
If our voters say no, then we will not proceed. It will sit there. I think what the Crown might expect is that there would be another round of discussions. You know, to answer, it's linked to the question before where people were saying how the Hui going. Well, all I can say to you today is all the Hui have been positive. All the feedback we've had from people since late last year, since we got to that, has been positive. People have been endorsing us moving ahead. But it is important that people vote. It is really important that we get as many people as possible voting. We don't have to achieve 34,000 or 24,000. Nobody's achieved that ever. In fact, most of the treaty settlement, the beneficiary base has grown after settlement, not on the way to settlement. But we will need to show that there are several thousand people who vote, and that a clear majority of them, and by the clear majority I'm talking about 75% plus, agree to the settlement. Because the other thing, to be honest, Whānau, if we get 51% of you saying yes and 49% of you saying no, then actually I wouldn't hear what the Crown said. I'd be saying, oh, that's not good enough. Maybe something's wrong here. But we have to make sure we get a good majority, yes, and we do have to make sure as many thousand people as possible vote.
So one more question. What can we do? Is there other resources that you guys can come up with?
We need foot soldiers.
Yes, so we're the foot soldiers.
We're all the foot soldiers.
What's our arms? What have we got?
We can certainly connect you with where people can get information and those kinds of things, where people can vote, we can do all those things. I mean, as you well know, Whānau, we shouldn't underestimate the kumara. In fact, despite the fact that we are required to advertise and all of that, social media most probably informs more people than all the other things we do. So we are looking at those things on Facebook, but we are also, as people come along, it's surprising how many people go away afterwards and hook up Whānau to the website to get the information. So it's really letting as many of your Whānau know as possible.
All those contact details are here. Hey, if you write the Tira Whakaemi on the Google bar, our pretty faces pop up. You can register, you can do all sorts through there. Hey, get out to the phones, get on there, you know. See, I'm trying to pretend I know that language on their Facebook. Get out to the fans. Tell them up. This.
So I believe that I am a registered member.
Good.
And yet I haven't received the information in the post.
Yes.
I was kind of thinking that I should have got that prior to the whole rollout of these Hui. So I'm thinking there's been a glitch in the system.
Oh yeah.
Now again, I just want to applaud, but there's some things that we're bound by in this whole process, and one of them is time frames. So the 25th of August is the shut-off date.
Yeah.
You've got another time frame there around kahui meetings that start in September. So this is quite a fluid and fast process for people to be able to, foot soldiers to be able to get the word out, so to speak, along that kumara line. But if you haven't got your PIN and what else do you need? A code to kickstart you off, you're stuffed.
You know, same thing was us last week. I registered, I had we don't hide anything. It's been a learning process for us as we've gone along. You know, we just got our act together in terms of all of those things over the last couple of months. So we've now got a functioning database that is doing what it's supposed to be doing. And we've had registrations going for previous months beforehand. And we're now catching up big time. So we had a big batch of all of those validations go out last week, another big batch just gone out this week, another big batch going out after all of that, and catching up. That's why we ask everyone that comes here, check the register to see that you're on. If you're on, it's cool, you're on. You've got to get a paper. If you aren't, and you think you're registered, I don't got mine, you're going to have to re-register again and bear with us. But we believe, you see that little things, most of all who go out, they're only required to have a 4-week voting period. We said, Carl, we'll stretch that out to 6, because we need to give the whānau the opportunity to register and vote. Vote online, vote on the mail, come here, put it in the box. We've got a lot of options. All of our tamariki mokupuna, they don't do mail. They don't do much actually. But they know how to use online. So they can do all of those things. Yes, after that we're moving into the next phase. And it's just like Star Trek, we're trying to hit warp, not slow down, so we can get over the line. And do all the things we need to get into the next phase. Simply that. Couple. Well, thank you again for coming, everybody. Oh, another question. Sorry.
I'm just sitting here on my wife's petticoat. And one thing I noticed, you reckon that when you go to next month to sign that for the paper, you might not be there. But yes,
Kia ora. Yes, when we do get to that point.
Oh, one thing I forgot.
Your question.
One thing I forgot, your heart goes full. No karakia before you start.
Finish with the big karakia.
You all look so nice when you think you need it.
But an important point, thank you for that. Thank you for your we have put a lot into this and get into this point. When it's done and we do the deed of settlement signing, yeah, we're going to karana out to everyone. Hoki mai ki te kainga. Nā koutou tēnei rangi. Nā tātou. And we do expect everyone to be signing besides Christopher Finlay, sir. Not just our trustees will sign first, they've got to do the remaining things. But we all sign. Hey, as many of us as possible. And putting our mark down for the future. Simple as that. But so, thank you again, everybody. Warriors, all of you, you're our warriors, our foot soldiers and our warriors. Not the Warriors League. Hurricanes, Wairoa Hurricanes territory. Everybody whānau. No. Hurricanes, Wairoa, Warface. No. Been there too long. Never mind with me, they're too long. Go home. Tapu Wai Athletic.
Kia ora. I'd just like to say ko here ki Hawaii ki e kora hari ko te tāna nepia no David the Clay. Kia ora ki a koutou ngā kaimahi I runga tēnei komiti. Tino kaha koutou ki te mahi o tātou. Tino pairawa o koutou kōrero ki a mātou. Onwards and upwards. Kia ora. A big thank you on our part. Kia ora.
Kia ora. So we're in Hamilton tomorrow. Bring up to the whānau up there, Waikato. Tell them to come along. Where are they? Ibis. In Hamilton tomorrow at 4 p.m. Tell them to come along, have a listen. So that they can get the same information that you guys get today. Okay? You can register and vote today, even if you think I have registered but I haven't got a this or that. You can register and vote today. Yeah? And if another one comes, you can't vote again. We'll cancel that because you've done that today. Just to say. Nō reira, tēnā rā tātou I tā tātou. Kia whakakapi I tā tātou hui, ki te shikai ake I ngā o tā hui mā koroma ki ai mo tātou. E te atua ka harawa tēnei mātou e kōporunga I koropiku nei ki mui I tau warawaro. Ki te tuku atu I o mātou whakawhitai I mātou whakamui me te kia koe. E whakawhitai ana ki a koe I hoa mo o mna ki tanga maha ko hia nei e koe ki runga ki tēnā o mātou. Taira wāki ki a mātou mahi ki te whakaoti atu I tēnei kaupapa ki mua I te arawaro o te krauna e āki ai ngā wawata kui mā koro mā nā rātou ture tēnei kuarahi I pana. Nā ki tia ki nei a mātou te whānau ngā whanaunga I te Wairoa e tatu mai nei I tēnei rangi taira wāki ki o mātou tangi mokopuna hoki. E noi atu ana ki a koe I hoa ki arahina I era o mātou e māwiwi ana I taimaha ana I tēnei wā. Ka noi atu mātou I enei meri roto I te kautama koe ukuraiti tō mātou kai whakaora. Āmine.
Let's build a better future for our whānau. Voting is now open on our settlement. Te Tira Whakaemi o te Wairoa is about to hold a series of ratification hui across Aotearoa seeking your vote and your support. To approve the deed of settlement and to agree to the roles and responsibilities of our post-settlement governance entity, Tātou Tātou o te Wairoa. We need your vote for our settlement to continue. If you're over 18 and whakapapa to te Wairoa, then register now to have your say. Go to our website or Facebook page for more information on how to vote. Tātou Tātou, te Wairoa.
But her name is
my grandmother and
Tēnā koutou katoa. Nau mai, haere mai. Thank you for joining us.